Good morning, friends. It is Friday, February the 26th at 6:40 a.m. I hope you guys are doing well. Day 5, middle of day, no, eh, almost 12 hours into day 5. Wait, so that's the garage door. Rob is running to the bank and to the post office because I made a sinking fund for escrow shortage because we always have an escrow shortage, and I gotta pay that today. So he's running to the bank and to the post officina with a package. I sold some cards on Etsy. So why am I up this early? He woke me up. This is one of the first times that he's been the reason I'm awake. But clearly, I wasn't sleeping very deep if he was able to wake me up. So I finally went to sleep at like 1. So being up at 6 will make for an interesting day. But I told you guys that I've already gotten like the burst of energy, and I think that's why I was able to get so much done yesterday. And I just powered through. And what I need to remember today is so I need to set an alarm, not only for me to drink water, but for me to get up and move around. I think that's part of my problem. Yesterday I was kind of in the same spot for a few hours and I got real stiff. So I also need to drink more water. I think this is a running theme. This and yawning is a running theme in all of my vlogs. Yesterday, I went to the bathroom and I was like, when's the last time I went to the bathroom? I couldn't even remember. I was like, Misty, you're going to have to be better about that. So I'm going to set a few alarms on my phone, maybe every 2 or 3, probably 2 hours, to drink water and get up and move around if I've been sitting down. So you can tell what side of the bed or what side I sleep on. I'm a right side sleeper. I think I told you guys that because I have a bar. After I had surgery, my Damien, who was my physical therapist, he's like, you should get a bed rail. And I was thinking, I don't want a huge rail. And he's like, no, you can get the small ones that just go underneath your bed. And I was like, oh, okay. And I got one on Amazon. And let me tell you, that's the best purchase I ever made. That's the one thing I hate about being in a hospital bed is that, like, I feel like I can never move myself up. So anyway, and so I sleep on my right side. And I sleep on my back too. So anyway, I'm all over the place. So my goal today is to finish cleaning off this desk, do my nails, film a few videos. I have a few videos and a few intros I need to film. I need to finish what I was doing over there. And then so I can film 2 more videos. So I don't know how many I'm going to get done today, but my goal is to get at least 2 done. That way I'll have Monday. So I'm down to posting 2 days a week on my July Photo channel. My Monday, Friday video for this next week, and that will give me a Monday video for the following week. And then hopefully next week I'm trying to get ahead a little bit. I bought a computer. It'll be here sometime next week. I bought a iMac Mini. We'll see how we do. I ended up getting a monitor off Amazon. A huge thank you to Wesley. I don't know if he's watching this video. Wes from Highfalutin Low Carb has become a really good friend to me. And he is all, like, his job was like all of this social media, SEO, technology stuff. So I was like, could you help me build a computer? So he did. And he encouraged me to get the iMac Mini if I couldn't wait. Like a MacBook, but a MacBook is too small for me. I need something a little bigger. So he said, why don't you get the iMac Mini since you already have everything else, and then you can just get a monitor. And I was like, sure. He wanted me to get that X chip or something. Look, listen to me. I don't know. Okay. I'm just telling you why I got it. So that'll be here next week. I'm really excited because this one's 8 years old. It needs a little bit of love. So yeah, so that's gonna be my day. I am hungry, like physically hungry. I don't know if you guys just heard that, but I'm sorry. I turned this light on and then the iPhone can't handle it. I'm physically hungry. So I'm going to drink some water with my fasting drops. Again, I don't feel like I had enough yesterday. I don't feel like I had any issues with like cramping and stuff. Oh, I get my blood works back. I can check my electrolytes. But that also helps me to not be hungry. And if it won't go away, I have some pickle juice left, or I may have to do some bouillon. I don't want to do bone broth because it breaks a fast. Protein breaks a fast, and I'm really trying again to not. So anyway, that's it, you guys. I will see you later. When you see me the next time, I will be very fancy. I don't know how fancy I'm gonna get today, but I'll be a little bit fancy. So I'll talk to you guys later. Hey friends, so I'm all gussied up. If you hung out with me on Instagram, thank you very much. I just finished filming my videos that I needed to film. Someone, I forgot to get their username, but someone during the live on Instagram asked me if I would share how Rob and I met. And we actually have a couple of husband tag videos on my channel. So if I can remember, I will try to link them down below. You guys know my memory is shit. So if I forget and you're interested, you know, make sure you let me know in the comments. But again, you can also find them on my channel. So, yeah, so there's a lot of bit more in there, but yeah. So Rob and I met in a chat room. We met in a chat room. I think we met February 2009. Well, we started talking in February 2009, and we met in a chat room that was specifically for BBWs and the men that love BBWs. So Rob has always been attracted to a fuller figure, a bigger girl. So we started talking. And initially when we started talking, he wasn't looking for a relationship. He had just divorced. He'd just been divorced for the second time. And he was in Dallas. I was in Tulsa. So it was like he just wanted somebody that was kind of close in the same region to chit chat with. And I thought, sure. The first time we talked on the phone, we talked for like 6 hours. We had so much to talk about, and we still talk a lot. We talk all the time, like, except when he's working. So anyway, so I was living in Tulsa, he was in Dallas, and then we decided to meet in April. 3 days before we were supposed to meet, he calls me and he tells me that he had lost his job that day. And I thought he was using that as an out to not come to Tulsa. And I said, well, do you still want to meet? And he's like, yeah. So he drove up to Tulsa. And let me just say, I'd never seen a picture of him, ever. And he had seen 9,000 pictures of me. Because even though this was back, 12 years ago, I was taking selfies before selfies were a thing. I was using my camera, my old digital camera. If I can remember, I'll insert a couple of pictures because I have some of the ones I was taking with my camera. So he drove up, and at the time he didn't even have a cell phone, y'all. And I made him get a track phone. I was like, you have to have a track phone, because he was taking, those of you that are in Texas, Oklahoma, you know what I'm talking about, Highway 6975. When you get past like McAllister, there's nothing. There's basically nothing. And I was like, I don't need you to get like, broke down and can't get a hold of me or whatever. So I said, when you call me from a track phone, I will give you my address. So he did, and I gave him my address. I was only comfortable meeting him at my apartment because my roommate at the time was a former police officer. And so I was like, I'll be okay. I'll be all right. So he gets there, and the whole time he's driving to Tulsa, I'm sitting there like praying to God. I'm like, please God, please let me be attracted to him. Please let me be attracted to him. Because we have like we meshed very well with our personalities, but again, I'd never seen him before. And I know sometimes if you are you really connect with someone, you can still be attracted to someone who you may not have found attractive before. But I was like, please let him be attractive. Please let him be attractive. Please let him be attractive. So I opened the door and I was like, and I immediately knew that he was going to be the man that I married. And so he spent the weekend with me. And I remember we went and ate lunch. So that, like, our official first date was later in the day. Those of you who are in Tulsa, we went to Tokyo Garden. And we went on a Friday night, which was dumb. But I remember he opened my door on the car, even though I was driving. And when we got in the restaurant, he pulled my chair out. And he still does that to this day. He always opens my car door and he always pulls my chair out. And I remember it was like, oh my gosh, no one's ever done that for me before. So yeah, so when he left, I actually called my mother and was like, I met the man I'm going to marry. I met your future son-in-law. And she's like, whatever. I said, no, I'm going to marry him. So I ended up moving. So we met on April 3rd. And I ended up moving to Oklahoma City. A friend of mine called and said, hey, we're doing this thing. Would you want to come work for me? And I said, sure. And so I interviewed, got the job, moved to Oklahoma City like on May 15th. I think it was May 15th. And just a few weeks later, I ended up in the hospital. So he was coming up on the weekends and we were hanging out. But that day, I'd gone to my aunt's funeral and it was outside and it was hot. And I just remember I could not cool down. I was hot and sweaty the entire day. Like, I could not cool down. So he and I were talking on the phone. I was like, I think I'm going to have to sleep in the bathtub. And he's like, why? I was like, because I cannot cool down. It was so hot, dripping sweat. Nothing would cool me down. I wasn't thirsty, but I was so hot. So I hung up with him and I called my other friend. I was like, will you come and take me to the hospital? And he's like, what's going on? And he's like, no, you need to call 911. I was like, but I don't want to call 911 because at the time my house was on a hill, and I'll post that picture too if I can. So my house was on a hill and I was like, how are they going to get a gurney up and down this hill? So when I called 911, I told them what was happening and I said, hey, I'm a fat girl, so you're going to need to send a couple of people. So they sent like 6 people and the paramedic gave me a nitro under my tongue. And he put on the EKG and he's like, okay, there's something here, but I don't know what it is. I'm going to go ahead and give you a nitro, which gave me a headache. And he said, we're going to put you on the gurney and we're going to get you in the ambulance. And I said, can I walk by myself? And he's like, no, I'm going to put you on the gurney. I was like, can I scoot down the hill? Like, I was like, can I scoot down the hill? And he said, no, I'm going to put you on the gurney or I'm going to leave. So they put me on the gurney. They got me to St. Anthony's in Oklahoma City. My friend got there. They gave me like all sorts of medicine, and all I remember from that was my doctor was so flippin' hot. I mean, he was so flippin' hot. Imagine the stereotypical California boy with the like blonde hair, blue eyes. He was tanned. He was muscular. He was just so nice. And my friend and I were talking and I was like, where is Dr. Lollipop? And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, he's so cute. I just want to lick him. Where's Dr. Lollipop? That is the only thing I remember from that night. So Rob came up the next day and met my family, and my mother hated him immediately, which I don't understand, but whatever. So, and then once I got out of the hospital and he started staying a few extra days, I'm like, why, just, there's no reason for you to go back and forth so often because gas was expensive. He didn't have a job, blah, blah, blah. So we basically moved in with each other like the 2nd or 3rd week of June, and maybe even earlier than that. And still, it was probably in July before we had the "we are together" conversation. Because I said, are we a couple? And he said, I told you I just want to be friends. I said, okay. I said, you're living with me. We were basically in a relationship. I said, so if we're not in a relationship, then you're gonna need to go back to Texas, and we're just gonna. I said because I can't. I said I'm getting too attached, and I said I just can't. So basically, the whole, 2 hour, 3 hour drive. No, it's 2 hours I think from the city, hour and a half, drive to Tulsa was like us basically fighting. We weren't fighting, but we were discussing, and finally, I just looked at him and said, it's not fair for you to compare me to your ex-wives. I said, because I'm not them. So I said, give us a chance and we'll see what happens. So I said, I love you first. And then we were watching TV on my bed in the bedroom. And he said, I love you. And I was like, wait, what? What? I was like, what did you say? He's like, I love you. I do. I said, I know you do. But I said, it's nice to hear it. So then we started, he's like, what about coming back to Dallas with me? Because he owned his home and he had just bought it. So if he sold it, he was going to lose a ton of money. And I said, if I'm moving to be with you, this is going to be a permanent arrangement. So do you want, is that something that you want to think about? And he said, yeah. He said, well, I'll pick a day to propose. He said, I'll propose to you at some point. So it wasn't like this big, grand, secret thing. I knew at some point we were going to get married. So, and I hated the job I was at. Oh my God, I hated it with the passion of 10,000 men. One of my coworkers hated me, and she got most of the teachers talking about me. I hated it. I hated every single minute of it. So I was so ready to go. So I moved. So I was coming down here every other weekend because he would come up there, stay for a while. Then we would come down here and stay for a long weekend or whatever. And on Friday the 13th in November, he proposed. And he said, how do you want me to propose to you? I was like, just wake me up from a nap or something. He took me literally. I was sleeping. He came home. He said, hey, baby. And I woke up and he was down on one knee and he asked me to marry him. And I said, yes. I moved the following week. So I've been in Dallas since November 20th or 21st, 2009. So we met on April 3rd and we got engaged on November 13th and we got married on December 31st. So we have been together for a while. So yeah, so that's the story how we met. Kind of our first 6 months of our relationship. Everybody told me I was moving too fast. We shouldn't get married yet. Like my grandmother and my mother, my paternal grandmother. And I was just like, I love him. I'm going to marry him. I don't care that we've only known each other for 6 months. I was like, he's it. I'm going to marry him. And then my mother wanted this huge wedding. And I'm like, no. I was like, number one, we don't have the money. Because when I moved down here, I didn't have a job. And he didn't have a job. So I had interviewed with Kids Are Kids and Allen, which... Lord have mercy on my soul. And I ended up getting a job there and I worked there for a few months. But there was a time there where we were both on unemployment. So the first couple of years of our marriage were very, very trying, and we made it through. And then the last 3 years or 4 years almost now, 5 years, over 4 years, have been challenging with all my health issues and stuff. So hopefully, and not having any money because I had to quit my job. So we've been poor most of our marriage. We've been poor most of our marriage, but we're doing good. And so yeah, so that's how I met. So this is the makeup I put on today. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do an easy look on my Instagram, and this is, I mean, the eye look is pretty easy, but the yeah. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. I'm feeling good. I took a nap. Did I tell you that? I don't even think I told you that. So I did a ton of stuff this morning, and by 9:30 I was like, we're done. We're done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. So I went ahead and laid down and took a nap. And I slept for about 2 hours, and then I got up, and here we go. So yeah. So thank you so much for joining me today. No, what am I doing? This is not a Jolly Fat Elf video. My brain. Okay, I'm gonna go get more stuff done. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Friends, hello. It is like 9:40. Me and Dalifa, diclofenac. If you are someone who struggles with pain or inflammation, see if your doctor will prescribe this. It's basically, you can take diclofenac pills, but this is the same medicine in a gel form. And this is way less expensive than CBD oil. And I usually pair this with lidocaine, but the first couple times I got lidocaine, they came from a compound pharmacy. And the last couple of times I've tried to get it again, they've said I've got to get it at like Walmart. So I don't know. Anyway, all over the body, all over the body. So, after I did that little thing about my, Robin Mine's relationship, I edited the video that needed to go live tomorrow and got it uploaded, and that took me until like 6:45. And maybe not quite that late, but pretty close. So I took my makeup off, did my skincare, as you can see, and then I watched Emily D. Baker. I posted a little video on the YouTube's Instagram about it. And yeah, now I'm getting ready to get in bed. Oh, I should turn on my blanket. I always forget that. Jacket to Jesus. Jacket to Jesus, because your girl is cold. It also doesn't help that I'm in shorts today. Okay. I think I'm going to go 10 days and be done. I think. I don't know yet. And it's not anything to do with like my mental health or anything like that. It's just like, I'm kind of tired of fasting. Like, legit. But I told Rob today it will really depend on what my numbers are on Wednesday. If I'm still not like at least in the 130s for a day, then I'll probably continue. I have some more watching and reading to do on Dr. Mindy's Reset Academy. Hopefully I can get to that in the next couple of days. So my goal for tomorrow is I need to do my nails, and then I need to film those 2 videos, and then get them edited, uploaded, or get them edited, ready to be uploaded, because I probably won't be able to take pictures until Sunday. Because it'll take me most of the day tomorrow, and I'm trying to do them in natural sunlight. Last week that was basically impossible because we had no sun. There's no sun. But I'm hoping that that's what I can do. And then I got to edit and upload this vlog. This one's going to be a little bit longer because of that little extra footage. But yeah, so I am going to go, like I said, I'm going to rub down what I can reach, have the hubs rub down what he can reach, and then get in the bed. I took a 2-hour nap today, but like at 5:30, I was considering taking another nap. I just did too much yesterday, and I did too much again today. So, and then at some point over the, like, it may have to be Sunday. I'm going to cook those 2 pot roasts, and I'm going to make that. I may have to make that soup next weekend. I just don't know that I can do that. I don't know that I can do that this weekend. We'll see how I feel. Rob worked over 80 hours for this week. And I'm smiling, and I don't mean to be smiling. Like, it's not funny, but it's like, it's the first week. Like, it's not like there's not an official start to busy season. And honestly, things haven't really slowed down for them. For him especially. He's a what is his name? Senior proofreader, super proofreader. I don't know, something like that. And so, and he's been there for a while, and he has really good rapport with his clients. And he works for the partners sometime. So, yeah, he does a pretty good job. So there's a lot of people that want him specifically. And that's like, he's like, I can only read so fast. He reads about 10 pages an hour, I think is what he told me. But he's doing a lot of financial statements right now because it's, tax time. And so he's having to, like, he calls it footing, but he has to do all the math. And I'm like, and he has one of those printer typewriter calculators. Boy, when he has to use the printer part, oh, I can't handle it. Like I have to wear his noise canceling headphones or just turn up YouTube real loud because I can't handle it. It's like, but I've never so when I went, I taught, my very first job was teaching first grade, and then I moved to special ed for about a year and a few months, and then my next teaching job was kindergarten, second grade, and then I moved to kindergarten. When I taught kindergarten is when I lived in Tulsa, and when I went home at night, that was it. I didn't watch TV. I wouldn't do laundry. I wouldn't go to Walmart. Like, I had to have silence. And it got so bad. Like, I had a roommate, and he was sitting there, and I was like, oh my God. And he's like, what? I was like, stop eating. And he's like, what? I was like, you're going, I was like, I can't handle it. Like, I cannot handle white noise sometimes. And like clicking, like someone clicking their pen, like him doing the adding machine. I'm like, oh my word, I just can't handle it. But yeah, those are my little quirks. So I'm going to bed. When you see me tomorrow, it'll be day 6. It's actually already day 6. So it'll be halfway through day 6. The whole reason, like I said, I'm just kind of tired of fasting. I'm tired of fasting, but I also want to give my body more time for it to come down. And I honestly want to have another week with the Enebral and me fasting. And I may have to just start checking on Monday rather than waiting till Wednesday, because I want to I want to see if the Enebral is causing me to still be elevated. I have a feeling it is, because normally when you have an issue with a drug in a certain class, you're going to have issues with all the drugs in a certain class. So yeah, but anyway, I'm going to bed. Love you to pieces. I will see you hasta mañana. Bye for now.